Have you ever wondered why some of your deepest thoughts, worries, or even moments of clarity show up at exactly 3:14 a.m.? It's almost eerie how precise it can feel. Your eyes snap open, the room is dark and still, and your mind starts racing before you even realize you're awake. You glance at the clock, and there it is again, somewhere between 3 and 5 a.m., like clockwork. Maybe you try to roll over and force yourself back to sleep, or maybe you lie there in frustration wondering why this keeps happening. If you're over 60, you're not imagining things, and you're certainly not alone. Waking up during these early morning hours is actually very common among older adults. But here's the important part, it's not just a random disruption, it's often your body and mind trying to get your attention. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional residue from the day, or subtle shifts in hormones and sleep patterns as we age, your 3 a.m. wake-up call is more than just a quirk. It's a quiet message. And the way we respond to that message can make all the difference between lying awake for hours and gently returning to rest. In this video, we're going to explore 5 gentle, science-backed actions you can take when you find yourself awake at this quiet hour. No pills, no rigid sleep hacks, just simple natural shifts you can make in the moment to calm your body, ease your mind, and reconnect with the kind of rest your body truly needs. These are steps I've seen make a real difference, not just in sleep quality, but in how people feel emotionally and physically throughout the day. So if your nights have felt long and restless lately, I invite you to stay with me. There's wisdom in the stillness of the early hours, and it might just be the moment your body has been waiting for you to listen. Let's begin with the first shift, perhaps the most powerful one of all, letting go of the fight to fall asleep. Let's begin with one of the most surprising truths about sleep. The harder you try to force it, the more it slips away. It's like trying to chase a butterfly with a net you might think you're closing in, but every frantic move just scares it further off. Picture this, you wake up in the dark. Maybe it's 3:12 a.m. The room is quiet, your partner is sound asleep next to you, and you're just lying there wide awake. The more you stare at the ceiling, the more anxious you become. You think to yourself, if I fall asleep now, I'll still get 3 more hours. But if I don't, oh no, tomorrow's going to be miserable. Your heart beats a little faster, your breath gets shorter, and suddenly you're not just awake, you're in a mental tug-of-war with your own body. Sound familiar? This kind of stress response is incredibly common, especially in older adults. As we age, the hormones that regulate sleep, like melatonin and cortisol, tend to shift. The balance becomes more delicate, and when we react with tension or panic in the middle of the night, it spikes our cortisol even more, making it biologically harder to fall back asleep. The good news, you can break the cycle not by forcing sleep, but by changing your relationship with the moment. Instead of lying still and spiraling into frustration, try this: shift your posture. Not dramatically, just enough to signal to your nervous system that you're taking gentle control. Prop up your pillow, sit slightly upright, or change how your legs are positioned. It's not about waking yourself up further, it's about resetting the moment. Now bring your attention to your breath. Start with a soft inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for just a second, then exhale through your mouth slowly for a count of 6. Repeat, and repeat again. This isn't just a relaxation trick, it's activating your parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest mode. It's your body's natural calming response. With each breath, you send the signal: we're safe, we're okay, we can let go now. Next, get curious. Why might you be awake? Are your sheets tangled? Is the room too warm or a little chilly? Is your pillow too flat or too firm? Sometimes it's the little things we overlook. Adjusting your sleep environment, just slightly straightening your blanket, fluffing your pillow, taking a sip of water, can make a surprisingly big difference. And here's another tip that many forget: you don't need to stay in bed if it's making you feel trapped. If after 15-20 minutes you still feel restless, it's okay to step out of the room for a minute or two. Go sit in a cozy chair, breathe, stretch lightly, or read a few lines of something gentle. No screens, no news, just calm. The key is to release the pressure to sleep and instead enter a state of quiet presence. Often that's all your mind needs to ease its grip. There's no need to conquer sleep. Instead, let sleep return to you like a tide gently rolling back in. Your body knows how to sleep. It's done it thousands of nights before. Sometimes it just needs your permission, not your panic. And remember, just because you woke up doesn't mean the night is ruined. This moment doesn't have to feel like failure. It can be a small window of reset, of reflection, of kindness to yourself. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m., don't brace for battle. Breathe, adjust, release, and allow the quiet to work its way back in. Now that your mind has stopped fighting and your body has begun to relax, let's talk about something often overlooked but deeply important: hydration. It might just be the missing link to a smoother, deeper return to rest. Let's explore that next. Sometimes the reason you're awake at 3 a.m. isn't emotional or mental, it's physical, and it's surprisingly simple: your body is thirsty. Dehydration is one of those sneaky culprits that doesn't always shout, it whispers. And the middle of the night is when it tends to speak loudest. You might not even realize it at first. Maybe your mouth feels a little dry, or your legs are twitchy and won't settle. Maybe you're feeling oddly warm or unsettled even though the room seems just fine. These are all subtle signs that your body's running low on hydration. As we get older, our sense of thirst naturally weakens. The brain doesn't always send clear signals when we need fluids. Combine that with lower fluid intake in the evenings to avoid bathroom trips, and it's no surprise that our bodies can become dehydrated overnight, sometimes just enough to disrupt our sleep. But here's the trick. Hydration at 3 a.m. needs to be done gently and intentionally. A lot of people make the mistake of gulping down a big glass of cold water straight from the fridge. And while that may feel refreshing, especially if you're warm, it actually wakes the body up even more. Cold water triggers your system to snap to attention. It activates your digestion, tightens your muscles, and sends a clear message: we're getting up now. That's the opposite of what you want at this hour. Instead, opt for room temperature water, or even slightly warm water if that's what you have nearby. This kind of hydration soothes your body instead of startling it. It's the difference between being nudged awake by a soft whisper versus having someone flick on the lights and shake you. And you don't need a full glass either. A few sips, just enough to soothe the dryness or calm the restlessness, can do wonders. Keeping a small glass of water on your nightstand can be a quiet act of self-care. No need to head to the kitchen or turn on any lights. Just reach over, sip, and settle. But here's something even more interesting: hydration isn't just about water. Sometimes your body also needs a boost of minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium that help maintain the delicate balance in your cells. When you sleep, especially if the air is dry or you've sweated during the night, you lose more than just water. You lose electrolytes. And without them, your muscles may twitch, your brain may feel foggy, and your energy may stay low even after a full night's sleep. That's why a simple pinch of quality sea salt like Himalayan or Celtic salt can make a big difference. We're not talking about table salt here. Just a tiny sprinkle added to your water can help restore balance and calm the nervous system. The minerals in natural salt are more bioavailable, meaning your body can actually use them. If the idea of salted water doesn't appeal to you, try adding a splash of lemon juice. It not only tastes refreshing, but also adds potassium, a vital mineral for muscle relaxation and heart rhythm. Lemon water can also lightly support digestion and give your system just enough of a nudge to ease back into rest without fully waking you. There's something deeply comforting about choosing to care for your body in this way at 3 a.m. Not out of frustration, but out of respect. It's saying, I see you, body, I'm listening. And the truth is, these little acts of nighttime nourishment can become rituals of peace. You're not just drinking water, you're rebalancing your system. You're telling your muscles, your heart, your brain, you're safe, you're supported. You can rest now. You don't need supplements or fancy powders. Just clean water, the right temperature, and a touch of something mineral-rich. So next time you wake up and feel parched, restless, or off-kilter, reach for your bedside glass, not to fix everything, but to offer your body a quiet gift. And once your body feels nourished and balanced, you may notice something else rising to the surface: your emotions. Because sometimes it's not your throat that's dry or your legs that are restless. It's your heart that's asking for attention. Let's explore that in the next part. It's 4:07 a.m. and you're awake again. But this time it feels different. Your body isn't particularly uncomfortable. You've already adjusted your pillow. You've taken a sip of warm water. There's no physical reason you can point to for why you're awake. Yet here you are, lying in the stillness, heart-heavy mind, quietly turning over thoughts you didn't ask for. This right here is the part we often skip over: the emotional reason behind those early morning wake-ups. Sometimes what's keeping you awake isn't your body, it's your heart. You might be replaying a conversation you wish had gone differently, or thinking about someone you miss, or feeling a quiet ache that you can't quite name, something that's just there. As we get older, we carry more than just years. We carry memories, regrets, unfinished thoughts, and layers of emotion we didn't have time to process during the busy hours of the day. And in the silence of the early morning, when there are no distractions, those feelings finally find space to rise. It's not a failure. It's not weakness. It's your inner world asking to be heard. In traditional Chinese medicine, there's a fascinating idea: every organ is connected to an emotion. The lungs, for example, are associated with grief and sadness. And wouldn't you know, the lungs are most active between 3 and 5 a.m.? That means if you wake up with a heavy heart, it might not be a coincidence. Your body may be signaling that there's unresolved emotion tucked away, waiting for acknowledgement. Modern science, too, supports this connection. Stress and emotional overload are leading causes of sleep disruption. It's not just about falling asleep, it's about staying asleep. When the brain is in a heightened state of emotional arousal, even subconsciously, it stays alert. It's trying to keep you safe. And that safety mechanism sometimes shows up as a 4 a.m. wake-up call. So what can you do? Start by checking in gently. Sit up, place a pillow behind your back, and ask yourself one simple question: what's on my mind right now? You don't need an answer that makes sense. You don't need to fix anything. The goal isn't to solve a problem, it's to see what's there. Just acknowledging a feeling can start to ease its grip. If you feel comfortable, take it a step further, write it down. Keep a small notebook by your bed, not for journaling your life story, but just for short thoughts. It could be as simple as: I feel lonely tonight. I'm worried about my son. I miss how things used to be. The point is to give those emotions somewhere to go outside of your head, because when thoughts stay locked inside, they tend to echo and grow louder. But once you name them, they soften. They become less scary, less overwhelming, more human. Even if you only write a sentence or two, you've given yourself the chance to process instead of suppress. And that in itself is healing. Think of this time not as an inconvenience, but as an invitation. Your body is saying, let's pause, let's breathe, let's feel. That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's something many of us forget to do during daylight. It's easy to get lost in doing and solving and staying busy. But in the quiet of the night, you have a chance to simply be with yourself without pressure, without expectation. Just presence. And sometimes that's all your body really needed. Not a sedative, not a distraction, just a moment of emotional honesty. So the next time you wake up and feel something stirring, not pain, not discomfort, but a vague unease, don't push it away. Pause. Feel it. Let it speak. And remember, just as the body can heal with water and warmth, the heart heals through awareness and acceptance. And once you've checked in with your heart, your body may be quietly asking for a reset too. Not a workout, not a stretch session, just gentle, loving movement to release the restlessness. That's what we'll explore next. You've checked in with your thoughts, you've sipped some gentle hydration, you've even softened into your emotions, but your body, it still feels restless. Like a coiled spring. You toss and turn, your legs feel twitchy, your neck is stiff, and no position seems quite right. It's as if your muscles are holding on to something, refusing to let go, even though your mind is finally beginning to calm down. This is your body's way of saying, I need to move, not much, just enough to exhale. As we age, our muscles become tighter, less forgiving. Blood circulation slows. We're more likely to stay in one position too long, especially when we're trying hard to fall back asleep. And in those quiet early hours, that tension builds silently until it's all we can feel. The good news. You don't need to jump into a full body stretch or leave your bed for a yoga session. Sometimes just a few gentle movements can completely reset your nervous system. Start with your neck. Let your chin fall slowly toward your chest. Feel the soft stretch down the back of your neck and upper spine. Hold, breathe. Then let your head roll to one side, ear drifting toward shoulder. Inhale through your nose. Pause for a moment, then exhale slowly as you roll to the other side. Repeat this a few times. Feel the stiffness begin to melt, as if your body's finally exhaling too. Next, let's release your shoulders, the place where stress loves to hide. Lift both shoulders gently toward your ears, like you're shrugging at the world. Hold for a moment, then let them drop with a soft exhale. Do this 3 or 4 times, pairing the motion with breath. The cracking sound you might hear, that's just tension leaving. Let it go. Still lying down, that's okay. Now gently bend your knees one at a time and sway them slowly side to side. No rush. Think of this like rocking a boat, steady, soothing, rhythmic. This simple movement helps loosen the hips, lower back, and spine. It also signals your nervous system that you're safe and ready to settle. If your legs are twitching or feel charged with energy, try this. Raise one leg slightly, shake it lightly for a few seconds, then set it down. Do the same with the other. It might feel silly, but it works. You're releasing that restless energy in a physical, non-disruptive way. Imagine it like shaking off static from the day. And finally, your hands and feet. If your extremities feel cold, which is common in the early morning, it can actually make it harder to fall back asleep. That's because your core temperature needs to drop slightly for sleep to happen. But your body struggles to do that if your hands and feet are too chilly. Here's a quick fix. Rub your hands together briskly for 10 seconds. Then place them over your feet like warm little blankets. This creates a calming warmth that helps guide your whole system back into rest mode. Why do these small movements matter? Because they tell your body, I'm not stuck. I'm safe. I can soften now. The more you try to stay completely still and wait for sleep to come, the more tension tends to build. But when you move gently, you're creating micro reset signals to your brain that it's okay to release the grip. And the science backs it up. Research shows that light movement in the middle of the night can improve circulation, reduce anxiety, and activate the parasympathetic system, your natural rest and restore mode. You're not trying to exercise, you're not trying to fix your sleep. You're just saying to your body, here's a small invitation back to peace. So next time you wake up and feel trapped in your own body, tense, twitchy, or restless, don't fight it. Don't lie there frustrated. Instead, move just enough to open a doorway and let the calm walk back in. And now that your body feels more grounded, your muscles a little softer, your breath a little deeper, there's just one more piece to complete your return to rest. Let's talk about calming your mind with sound, because sometimes the quietest tool can be the most powerful. If you've made it this far, thank you for staying with me. That already tells me something important. You're not just looking for sleep, you're looking to understand yourself better, to treat your body and mind with care and kindness. There's still one more piece to this gentle nighttime puzzle, and it might just be the tool that brings everything together. So I invite you to stick around until the very end. You won't want to miss it. And if you found this video helpful so far, I'd be truly grateful if you tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more people who, just like you, are trying to sleep better, feel better, and age with wisdom. Now let's take the final step, soothing your mind with sound. You're lying there still. The room is quiet, maybe too quiet. The clock ticks softly in the background, but inside your mind, it's anything but still. Thoughts are pinging around like fireflies trapped in a jar. One flits to a conversation you had earlier in the day. Another lands on something you forgot to do. A third stirs up a memory from years ago, long buried, but suddenly vivid. And before you know it, you're running through your mental to-do list, yesterday's emotions and tomorrow's worries all at once. You try to push the thoughts away. You squeeze your eyes shut and tell yourself, just stop thinking. But that only makes it worse, because the mind, when told to quiet down, tends to get even louder. Here's the gentle truth. You don't need to silence your thoughts, you need to soothe them. And one of the most effective natural ways to do that is through sound. Not just any sound, not the buzz of your phone, not the hum of a television. We're talking about sound designed to help your brain relax. Gentle, intentional healing sound. You've probably heard of white noise before, the static hiss of a TV on a dead channel. It can be effective for blocking out background sounds, but many people find it harsh or jarring, especially in the middle of the night. Now imagine something softer, something rounder. That's pink noise. Pink noise is made up of the same frequencies as white noise, but with the high-pitched elements turned down. It's more like rain falling on leaves, waves lapping against the shore, or the hum of wind moving gently through trees. Unlike silence, which can amplify your inner chatter, pink noise wraps your mind in a gentle, non-intrusive hum. It creates a subtle auditory blanket that guides your brain into slower wave patterns, mimicking the natural rhythm of deep sleep. In fact, a study from Northwestern University found that pink noise not only helps people fall asleep faster, but can improve memory and cognitive performance the next day. Why? Because it encourages the kind of deep, slow-wave sleep that our brains need to recover and consolidate. Try keeping a pink noise track saved on your phone or a small bedside speaker. Set the volume low, barely a whisper. Let it fade into the background, just enough to nudge your thoughts into a slower, more peaceful pace. If ambient sounds don't feel quite right, you might try something more guided, a soft voice to lead you back to rest. Short sleep meditation, just 5 to 10 minutes long, can be incredibly effective. A calm, steady narrator walks you through breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even visual imagery. Think of it as a bedtime story for grown-ups. Something that gives your brain a simple task to focus on. Breathe in, breathe out. Relax your feet, relax your shoulders. The beauty of guided meditations is that they gently interrupt the thought spiral. They don't try to force your mind to sleep, they just invite it to rest. And that invitation, when offered with calm repetition, often does the trick. There are many great free resources. YouTube search for guided sleep meditation, 10 minutes no ads. Podcasts like Sleep Cove or Nothing Much Happens, apps like Insight Timer or Calm with free tracks available. Make sure to test them during the day so you know which ones resonate. Avoid any with sudden loud intros or ads. Those can be jarring in the middle of the night. Why this works? It's all about brainwaves. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. When your brain is racing with thoughts, it's usually operating in beta wave activity, a state of high alertness and problem solving. That's great during the day, but terrible at 3 a.m. What you want instead are theta and delta waves, the slower rhythms associated with relaxation and deep sleep. Soothing sounds, whether pink noise or soft spoken word meditations, entrain your brain to follow their slower tempo. It's like having a calm friend take your hand and walk you out of a storm. You're not fixing your insomnia. You're guiding your mind away from pressure and toward peace. The takeaway sound can be your anchor when your thoughts feel adrift. You don't need to lie there in silence battling your brain. You can press play, close your eyes, and allow the rhythm of sound to lead you home to rest. And when used gently, consistently, and intentionally, this becomes more than just a technique. It becomes a ritual of kindness you offer to yourself each night. Because even in the quietest hours, you deserve softness, you deserve calm, and you deserve sleep that truly restores you. Now let's bring everything together in our final part with a quiet reflection and a simple path forward so you can start sleeping better beginning tonight. Let's take a quiet moment together, not to solve, not to strive, just to breathe and to reflect. By now you've walked through 5 deeply personal science-backed steps designed not to fix your sleep, but to reshape how you relate to your nights. You've learned how to pause the panic and stop forcing sleep. Hydrate with intention, not habit. Listen inward and gently meet your emotions. Move softly to unlock tension, and let sound carry your thoughts into stillness. Each step is simple, but don't mistake that simplicity for weakness. These are not surface-level hacks. They're invitations to reconnect with your body, your breath, and your being during the quietest hours of the day. And that in itself is powerful, because waking up between 3 and 5 a.m., as unsettling as it may feel, is not a failure. It is not your body betraying you. It is not aging gone wrong. More often, it is your nervous system asking to be heard, your emotions seeking space to be acknowledged, or your body offering you a moment to care for it rather than control it. We live in a world that treats rest like something to be earned, and sleep like a switch we're supposed to flip off and on at will. But real rest, real restoration, it comes from cooperation, not force. You see, your sleep doesn't start when your head hits the pillow, and it doesn't end when the sun rises. It lives in the choices you make throughout the night, when you wake up, how you respond, and whether you meet those moments with frustration or with compassion. It's in the breath you choose to deepen instead of the thought you chase. In the glass of warm water you sip instead of tossing in bed. In the slow movement of your shoulders or the steady rhythm of ocean waves lulling your mind back to stillness. These small acts may seem insignificant at first, but repeated with intention, they create new rhythms. They teach your body it is safe. They teach your mind it can let go. And over time, those rhythms become rituals. Not to control sleep, but to welcome it. Not to resist the night, but to befriend it. You may still wake up. That's okay. But now you'll have tools. Not just techniques, but a new perspective. You'll begin to see these nighttime interruptions not as enemies, but as messengers. Moments to return to yourself. Moments to check in, not check out. And that may be the most important gift of all, because the goal isn't just to sleep more, it's to live more fully rested, clear-headed, emotionally attuned, and physically supported. That kind of sleep, the kind that truly restores, isn't something you fight for. It's something you invite through rhythm, ritual, and kindness to yourself. So as we close, here's what I hope you take with you. Tonight, if you wake up, pause, breathe. Don't rush back to sleep. Instead, ask, what is my body telling me? What do I need right now? Then respond, gently, lovingly. One small step at a time. Let the night become a teacher, not a threat. Let wakefulness become a moment of grace, not a failure of your body. And let yourself become someone who honors even the quiet, awkward, unexpected hours of life. Because even at 3 a.m., especially at 3 a.m., you are still worthy of care. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to gently press like and consider subscribing. It helps others find this kind of support, and it tells me that these late-night conversations are meaningful to you. And if there's someone in your life who also wakes in the quiet hours, perhaps share this with them. You never know whose night it might help soften. Until next time, rest well, breathe deep, and remember, even in the dark, you are never alone.